hits. Good morning and welcome to yet another edition of the Epic Morning Show. Today on Thursday, the 8th day of June 2023. And we come to you live from our studios at Hillcourt Road on FM 99.3 FM. Also, we are live on Sleek TV, channel 37. So wherever you are, you can tune on your TV now and you can be able to watch we live. This morning on the show, we get to talk about economy. Oh yes, the APC or the SLPP, who that alone people them go able for trust with the economy and actually why. Now let me just give a bit of a context, yeah? In 2007, the APC campaigned on the platform of an agenda for change. At that particular time, they then cite several indicators such as price control, corruption, wastage, poor revenue mobilization, and so on and so forth. In 2012, they campaigned on a platform of agenda for prosperity. Fast forward down to 2018, the SLPP campaigned on a platform of new direction. And inside that new direction, they then cite several indicators, such as bad governance, bad economic policies and management of economic and state resources, high cost of living, endemic corruption, and the list goes on. Fast forward to 2023, the APC and the SLPP, they battle once again for who that will take the seat of power in Sierra Leone. This time, they are actually campaigning on different platforms, whilst the APC, they campaign on a platform of creating something new, something that is different, like a one nation. That's the theme of their manifesto. The SLPP, they on consolidating gains. This morning on the show, like every other day, we get to ask the difficult questions. Why? Which of them two political parties then so get the better manifesto? And which means the intent for use for actually achieve the results we they want to achieve for better the economy. Stay with us, don't go anywhere. When we come back, we'll take our morning message when I arise. Message of motivation with a borrow a few words from a famous poet poem then in the Shepherd Boy's song. Inside our poem he states say, "Person way they dong, no need for afraid say they for them. And somebody we already they dong, no get pride. And somebody we humble go always get God for being guide." Now we went further and say, him he content with waiting he get, whether he small or he boku. Notwithstanding say he already content with waiting he get, he still they crave and he still they pray that God give him more contentment. Now the importance of this is the fact say, wherever you do, whatever you do, it's important for let you get a content mind. Waiting a content mind. Content mind not a way you get everything going for you. It's not when everything is perfect. But contentment na instance is usai, you are not there yet. You not get all waiting you want. But yet still, you okay, you appreciate with that which you get. You know the left with you get for good if waiting not belong to you. Or for go take somebody else in you. This is very important, yeah, for you. Whether you work in an office, you're a teacher, you're a businessman and all. It is important for you get content heart. Because if you are not contented with waiting you get, Nike often put people in a problem. So Epic Radio, they tell you this morning that be content, whether you get beaucoup or you get small.
It's about to go down. We get our figure on the radio. Turn it up one time.
As I wake up this morning, I see me neighbor them vexed. I like say man they not glaggy. About waiting they go on inside this we come out. This come fire so, inside come fire so. Some people them bad, some people them bad inside. This week come fire so. Come fire so, this come fire so. Some people them bad, some people them bad inside. This week come fire so. I say you know see the tower where I hang na veranda. Neighbor you know see the lapa where I hang by the window. Hey me, Alex say boss in don't come, don't take a care and go. You don't go as sweet and me water. Alex say bossing don't come, don't take a care and go. It don't go as sweet and me water. It's come fire so, it's come fire so. And then they come and go. Talk ya and that's so. It's come fire so, it's come fire so. Man then they come and go. Jepe londo. As I wake up this morning, I see me neighbor them vexed. I like say man they not glaggy. About waiting they go on inside this we come out. As I wake up this morning, I see me neighbor they vexed. I see me neighbor they stress. The body change for him well. One man they fence for himself. Oh yo, it's come fire so, inside come fire so. Some people them bad, some people them bad inside. This week come fire so. This come fire so. This come fire so. Some people them bad, some people them bad inside. This week come fire so.
Okay, welcome back. You're listening to the Epic Morning Show and me na James Fortune. Now this morning on the show we talk about the economy of Sierra Leone. We stand at the heart and at the center of waiting concern every Sierra Leonean. Now the APC or the SLPP, who that Salone people them go able for trust with the economy and why. Now for build some context around this particular topic, for starters, there are 2 points them where we need to establish when it comes to the economy of Salone. Then the fact here we get two popular segments into which politicians, economists, them can analyze the economy of Sierra Leone. One we the fiscal policy and the monetary policy. But first, let's deal with the fiscal policy. Yeah? Now, the fiscal policy now waiting governments they use for undertake public expenditure and also generate revenue. The fiscal policy now something where is exclusively managed by the Ministry of Finance. Now, it get for do with revenue generation, get for do with expenditure, allocations, you name it, so on and so forth. And for the fiscal policy, you get bodies them such as Parliament, where they provide oversight on the Ministry of Finance, where often they can go read budget, allocation, and get for defend them. Further, you get waiting then called the monetary policy. Now, the monetary policy, I could try for explain them better. It's a bit complex with all the terms anyways. Now something where you'd emerge against the interest rate and that of the supply, yeah, of currency. there is this thing, say, when you get higher interest rate, you get less consumers where they come at the bank for actually loan, and then through the interest way the bank they put and able for make money. But when once the interest rate is higher, then you get fewer people where actually they come to the bank. And if you get fewer people where they come to the bank, you know they get so much going on. Now, further to this, you get instance where they can talk, say, if you get too much money na the economy, and that money they're not able for buy commodities then automatically then they can often lead to inflation. Now waiting then can say you get too much money chasing few goods. This morning on the show we get for can talk to Ibrahim Tawakonte, Honorable Ibrahim Tawakonte of the SLPP, and Honorable Dr. Unfasori Chikoma. We get for can analyze to with this morning why then things either of the party, the fiscal and monetary policy is better than the other for actually better Sierra Leone. This is important because before you come down to the prices of commodities in the market, before you come talk about rice, you can talk about pepper, you can talk about oil, you can talk about a bag of cement. Often, before politicians can often say, well, when I come to power, I'm going to change all of this. But then when they come to power, that is when they introduce these terms, and then the people are often confused. But don't worry, this morning, Epic Radio would ask them the questions on these very terms, the fiscal policy, the monetary policy, and how then they cascade down to within the common man interested in. Stay with us, don't go anywhere. This is the Epic Morning Show.
Don't take a care and go. You don't go as sweet and be water. It's gon' fire so.
Good morning and welcome back. This is the Epic Morning Show. This morning at the studio for discuss the economic plan with the APC and the SLPP get for Sierra Leone. We get now the studios with we from the side of the APC, Honorable Dr. Unfasori Chikoma. We represent the APC now this morning. Good morning and welcome to the show.
Good morning, Mr. Fortune, and thanks for having me. I'm pleased to be here.
Thank you. And on the side of the SLPP, we get Honorable Ibrahim Tawakonte. We represent the SLPP now this morning. Good morning and welcome to the show.
Good morning, Mr. Fortune. Good morning, Sierra Leoneans.
Okay. Welcome, gentlemen. We'll get right into it. The New Direction Manifesto, Consolidating Gains and Accelerating Transformation. Inside this particular manifesto, between page 75 to 80, we get the economy we want to deal with extensively. Now, let we start with the very first point, the fiscal policy of the SLPP. This is looking forward to the future, yeah? In terms of expenditure, now one area these governments don't receive a lot of backlash in terms of the way they don't spend and all. Revenue generation as well, now one area where the government don't receive lots of credit in terms of say, okay, when I don't do lots of revenue mobilization and all. However, despite the revenue generation, there is still the instance of the fact, say, we're still spending more than we get. Going forward, 2023, waiting at the fiscal policy of the SLPP relating to expenditure specifically.
Thank you very much, Mr. Fortune. Let I give you a context of the economic performance of Sierra Leone coming to this period. The economy na a process, not an event. And because the economy na a process, you go realize the effects of activities 5-10 years ago, 10-15 years ago, it show up sometime 10 years down the line. For example, when the government obtained debt over a period of 10, 15, 20 years, a concessionary debt, where you get a grace period for service that day. Sometimes the grace period na 60 months or 5 years. The repayment period starts immediately after that 60-month day. So if a government is in power, you obtain that debt day, say for example, President Koma, you obtain that debt day in 2012, and you have a grace period of 60 months, 5 years. It means to say the grace period of that debt day they expire at the end of President Koma in term or the term we got to obtain that debt day, or during the period vying into the other person in period, then the repayment kicks in.
Okay.
And when the repayment kicks in, what's in the happen? They form part of government expenditure.
Okay.
Because government they begin for service, then they now immediately. And immediately you begin service the debt and the interest, it forms part of government expenditure. That is one. Two, critical infrastructures. No government or the one in the world. If you look the United States, you realize say President Biden in agenda was build back better. And in trying to build back better, he requests the American Congress for providing 1.3 trillion United States dollars for invest on road infrastructure, for invest on chargeable stations, for ensure say he gets green environmental cars the way you need to get a lot of charging stations across the country. Now, if you look at Sierra Leone, there is no way you go operate a country, run a country as Sierra Leone without involved in capital expenditure. And for most part of the capital expenditure, the whole government don't undertake. They were capital expenditure either rolling back from a period where the government not be in power. For example,
now, I think we get that point. We get the point about servicing debts and all. We understand the fact, say, yes, you get grace period and things like that. Then I think we people understand, I think. But what I want let we deal with in terms of the expenditure, they talk about future now. This is 2023, accelerating gains and
transforming.
Yes, consolidating gains
Yes,
and accelerating transformation.
Exactly.
Waiting at the government in I call them fiscal policy relating to expenditure.
Okay, government fiscal policy relating to expenditure. Number one, you see say between 2020 to date, as at 2020, government's overall stock of public debt was $3 billion. Now you realize say it don't count on to 2.7 billion. That is showing that government enforced policy now for able for service in debt.
Okay.
One for service with debt and reduce with debt pressure, because the economy. The two biggest source of expenditure in the economy is debt servicing and salaries. So if we reduce with debt, and like what government policy don't tell on now towards getting grants, focusing on grants, doesn't mean that you won't obtain debt, because the states cannot go without debt.
Okay.
So government enforced policy going forward now for ensure say we bring down the debts, total debts, stock of public debts. That is one. Number two, government don't already institute and pass into law the wages and salary and compensation commission act, where they rationalize salaries across board. For example, you get an accountant in the accountant general's department, you get the same accountant with the same qualification with the auditor general's department. They are both with the same qualification, same experience, but they are receiving two different salaries.
Okay.
So now government is saying we are going to rationalize salaries through this commission.
Okay, thank you. I would hold you there. Thank you. Over to you, Dr. Unfa. You don't hear waiting honorable talk. You talk about servicing debts, and of course we are in agreement that paying salaries and that of debt servicing are one of the two biggest areas that we governments they expend on. But however, I mentioned, say, most of the debts the way they don't service, now those debts we while una be in power, just 5 years back, we take and then get for can service them. So now Sierra Leoneans would want to know, what's the difference in terms of una expenditure? To the point, say, when una be in power, una expend so much that now una company now they end up for campaign una debt. So waiting different inside this One Nation manifesto in terms of expenditure, which Sierra Leoneans for trust una with.
First of all, thank you for that question.
Thank
of
you.
course, as you can see and can tell, and the whole country knows, see, this government not spend the whole time blaming the former government for what they do. And when they came in 2018, they painted a gloomy picture of what the economy is. But if we sit down today and we talk, the economy is worse than it was before. When you talk about debt, it was at 17.83 trillion leones then. Now, we talk about debt at 40 trillion leones. So if you take the difference already, you know, see, then say don't trust Boku. So debt, of course, government get debt and government get for manage and service and debt. But that cannot be the reason why the economy don't plummet. Because if you look at what's in the APC plan for do, about fix the economy. Enough of all the statistics, enough of all the book talk, now for fix the economy with the ordinary man they feel.
Okay.
What's in the able put on the table, what's in the able afford. We dey talk about the price of bag of rice. We dey talk about fuel price. What in this government don't do for manage what's in them put on the table? And promise say that they change the economy in 6 months. But they have not done that. We're in a worse off situation than we were in 2018. They say the economy was worse, was the worst since independence. So what you will talk about the economy right now? And they campaign on the economy. If you can recall the president, current president, campaigned on when he was at debate, he said the bag of rice is 200,000. People are tired of paying for a bag of rice at 200,000. Are the people not tired of paying for a bag of rice at 800,000?
So what do you want to do with regards expenditure? I understand the point we make with regards, that's all cost of living.
Of course.
That's
so
it's another thing, yeah.
Yes.
Let me talk about the expenditure. During una tenure, just as you rightly say, the SLPP campaigned on a platform say there was too much wastage in terms of how una they expend what you una not get. Now, 5 years down the line, the APC, they come again, they take the stage, asking Sierra Leoneans for trust them with the economy. I'm now asking, waiting different in terms of una expenditure then, and the expenditure we una one can do now. Waiting at the difference. That's what I want us to fix our minds on.
The sickness that this country has is an economic problem. And for solve an economic problem, you need an economic prescription. And we flag bearer in the name of Dr. Samura Matthew Wilson Kama is an economist. Proven economist who don't know about the economy for over 40 years. So of course, when you want to fix your economy, you have to manage your expenditure. You get for manage your expenditure.
How?
The government cannot have a wage bill as big as it is. Okay. Government, like you say, the government then get a record of mobilizing resources. You don't mobilize so much, but you spend so much. They don't create so many offices. They want to give jobs to everybody. I always say the president cannot be seen as the employer-in-chief. Of course, he's the commander-in-chief, but not the employer-in-chief. You have to ensure that the private sector thrive. But the contraction in the private sector don't make it impossible for let the private sector thrive. When they can meet private sector investments in this country, we then suffocate because they believe the former government gets hands in a lot of them investments and what happen with that? The employment then fall. Then try for hire all them people them. The wage bill expanded. If you go now, even from the basic ministries, they inherited an executive that had 20-something ministers. Now they have 40-something.
Okay.
You have a Ministry of Education. Now you have 3 ministries, 2 ministries, Ministry of Education.
So, Dr. Unfa, the point is, in terms of una expenditure, you tell the people with regards wage bill that una go be different.
Of course.
Okay.
Of course.
How?
Of course. I mean, one biggest on the wage bill is it mentions in our accountants you get 2 people them. But if you get two ministers serving the same purpose, you have a minister of finance, then you have a minister of economic development, you have a commissioner of EPA, now you have a minister of environment and protection, you have a minister of social welfare, now you have a minister of social welfare and gender affairs, two different ministries. Those ministries all have their own deputy ministers. Those ministries all have their own directorate, all their permanent secretaries. What you expect the wage bill will be? So the government is not efficient. And you need prudent financial management and prudent efficiency for ensure say government spend way how they spend the money, so that government will know how you go manage the other parts of the economy. But if government they spend, no matter how much money you mobilize, you get the desired effect.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Umfa. You talk about the wage bill, and it's an open secret that one thing we Sierra Leoneans always don't grapple with. Now the fact say, in the New Direction Manifesto in 2018, one particular point we be so glaring now for salvage this economy, for ensure say we do prudent economic management of state resources. But now you get, like you rightly say, the wage bill this skyrockets. You get lots of ministries. You get, there's this thing as well about the international trips where you get lots of people, they go on international trips with the president. You get for pay hotel fees, you get for pay for flight tickets, you get for give per diems, and all of these things. You think, say, that particular method, that particular style they will not use, expand ministries, get boku things them, in any way helpful, make the problem of expenditure less cumbersome than it already was?
Like I tell you initially in my opening, say the two biggest expenditure of Sierra Leone from the APC to now remains wages and salaries.
So the APC and the SLPP are the same?
No,
That's what you're saying?
I'm coming.
Okay.
I'm coming. And debt servicing. And debt servicing is number one. Now, if you look at the reasons why make the wage bill don't increase, yeah? Before now, lecturers at the universities in Sierra Leone, they were paid out of fees collected by the universities. Now, all the lecturers then across the universities in Sierra Leone, across all public universities in Sierra Leone, are being paid directly from the government wage bill, from the consolidated fund. That is addition of about 400 people with huge quantum, their salaries, their leave allowances, their rent allowances, and all of that form part of the salary emolument. And in that particular regard, their salaries have also been increased, because before now, every 2-3 months, they lecture at the strike, because they ask for good condition of services. Now, their condition of service have been addressed to a large extent, that it's been a while we've not heard of strikes. That is first. My honorable colleague talk about government, the president be employer-in-chief. It is no secret, it's open secret in Sierra Leone that the biggest employer from time immemorial to date has been government. And government is making conscious effort now, the Bioled administration is making conscious effort for expand the private sector space. By the time we will take government, London Mining has closed. Africa Mineral has closed. We have lost like $150 million on a monthly basis where they come into the economy, we just don't evaporate because of the closure of Africa Mineral. Let me come.
Yes.
Now,
I understand. The point is, while we stick within the context,
we have created ministries.
Yes, thank you.
I'm coming.
Dividing, having Ministry of Social Welfare, having Ministry of Gender, having Ministry of Finance, having Ministry of Planning and all, having higher tertiary and basic education and things like that. Specifically, you as Honorable Tawa Conte, tell me if you think, you think that's prudent economic management of the state resources? If it is, why? If it is not, why?
Okay.
Yes. If it is not, okay.
If
yes.
it is, firstly, now that the president can.
No, you would have to take a stance. Is it?
It is.
Okay, well, tell us why.
One, the president canvassed on the fact that he's going to split the Ministry of Finance and Economic Development into two ministries. The Ministry of Finance and the Ministry of Economic Development. It was on the manifesto, the People's Manifesto, the New Direction Manifesto 1. Number two, if you look at the efficiency in the discharge of the responsibility, when the Ministry of Economic Planning and Economic Development is subsumed under the Ministry of Finance. You don't hear about management of projects. You see project funds come in, the project they elapse, the money go back, the implementation no they happen. Let me give you a classical example. There was this project financed by the EU, 105 kilometer between Bo Bandajuma connecting Liberia with 3 bridges. Because the Ministry of Economic Development was supposed for liaise with the donor partners, be subsumed under the Ministry of Finance. That project was there for 10 years. The APC government could only do 10 kilometers. Because the Ministry of Planning and Economic Development was separated from the Ministry of Finance under the Bureau administration, in less than 4 years, 95 kilometers and 4 bridges have been concluded. So it shows that there is value for money. Because in HR, they get what they call recruitment and manpower planning. If you clog everybody in one space, you know they get results. What do? They do manpower planning. And in terms of manpower planning, you realize also say, when we get Ministry of Education.
Okay, thank you. Thank you on that point. I think listeners them get it enough. Away from expenditure, key things them with this government don't do. Now, currency denomination in terms of we monetary policy and try for close the gap between the exchange rate, the leon to the dollar. We, of course, it clearly know because still the leon, somebody used a term the other day, say the leon, it's like where you get a boxing ring, where you get a huge person and you sit on top of the leon. Let's say somebody, person like me, I'm small, and then you sit on top somebody like me. Now that day you get a heavyweight boxing champion, sit on top somebody so small. Now so right now the dollar and the leon day, despite the exchange rate policy we our government put in place. But first let's take currency redenomination as something where you will get lots of kickbacks, lots of people go against and all. Waiting you want for talk about the point. I know already that the APC never supported it, but I want for let you tell us in terms of economic relatedness, why una be waiting make.
So let me say briefly about prudent financial management. Then I'll go to a question quickly.
It's part of the time allocated for this
when the honorable talk about separating the 2 ministries to ensure efficiency, you want to tell me say inside these past 5 years, this government will do more infrastructural development than the APC in their first 5 years?
Sure. Impossible.
When you talk about the Wilkinson Road, you talk about the Spur Road, and not to just the Wilkinson Road, you talk about all the roads inside Wilberforce. Now they know that Wilkinson Road project. You won't compare them with the projects with this government do? No, by no means. So let's talk about this currency denomination. First of all, they're not able to tell the public or anybody, even we in our parliament, how much they spend for redenominate this money. And as they talk, people they call the money to sim, not to so. You get the old leons and the new leons. This money where I buy fuel, the 10,000 leons not what I use. Now old leons, and they see the 10 leons anymore. So I'm still saying 10,000 leons. I'm not saying 10 leons because the currency has 10,000 leons. Cosmetic reasons. All we can think about, they probably printed some money to keep some money. So people are not here. When they print the money, some of them disappear. Billions of them disappear. Where is that money at today? So now we way of laundering the money because it's get no economic value. They don't spend millions of dollars for print more money where we know we see to date. Then the economy don't plummet. You talk about a foreign exchange rate at 24,000 leons per dollar. When this government came into prominence, it was at 6,500.
Okay.
You compare that kind of government to this government now.
Sierra Leoneans would want to say, in terms of currency redenomination, this is not the first time. The APC did currency redenomination also, right?
But you saw the money, right?
There is currency redenomination. Now, you talk about the fact, yes, now 2 money day out. Yes, it's a fact. I mean, it's an open secret, I think. The Bank of Salon pull out a statement and talk and say, you get until December for let people return the old leons and let you get the new leons for they into full circulation. So one go on for say, that is not so complex. It's clear enough. Waiting, I want for really talk about our side of just saying this generic situation, yeah? Because it is very much possible, so the APC can come back and can do another currency redenomination.
Well, what they say specifically, you say the APC did a currency denomination. Of course they did. They sized the loans, but we economy not dey like this right now. The hardship not dey like this right now. Fuel prices not dey as high as it is right now. The rest not so expensive as it is right now. Then tell them that the government obu manage even electricity in the city. What is government obu do now? Then tell them the government obu keep fuel prices at a bare minimum at 6,500. What they know obu do now? Then tell them the government be subsidized on fuel. What they know obu do now? Then tell them the government be subsidized on tertiary education. What they need to do now? Then tell them even primary and basic education was not so challenging as it is now. Parents they pay over 300,000 even though they do free quality education.
Is government not subsidizing anymore in tertiary education? That's what you just said.
Government was subsidizing 75%.
No, but you just said they
education.
subsidize anymore.
Government they subsidize 75% of tertiary education. The new government it's a loan scheme now for replace the tertiary subsidy way government be the give at the time. Say you can take a loan now for take care of your education. But if you note, education is most expensive at a tertiary level than primary or secondary level. So which means the government of the APC did more for education than this government. But now.
When you talk
even
about,
though they've made this education their flagship project.
When you talk about tertiary education subsidy, it not just limits to necessarily student loan scheme or the one where them be the give before we now more or less like a scholarship way. You know, they pay back.
Yes.
You understand?
Yes.
I mean, it's still on. Maybe they only cut down on the number. But you get several other things, yeah? Tawa talk about the aspect of, Honorable Tawa talk about the aspect of... They talk about the aspect of paying lecturers and all of them kinds of things. Is that not part of the subsidy?
Well, he used that as part of the wage bill. And
yeah, but still not subsidy.
No, not salaries and wages.
Okay.
Not salaries and wages. It's different. Now you get discretionary spending, and you get spending where you know discretionary where you get for do. So if you don't put salaries of lecturers inside that wage bill, which by the way, if you compare salaries and wages for lecturers and teachers compared to salaries and wages of ministers, deputy ministers, and directors and the whole ministry, it's insurmountable.
How about the fees? College fees.
Of course, college fees are still so high now.
But there is still a subsidy there.
SLG was always there, right? But now the amount of people that will be getting SLG to now.
Thank you, Dr. Unfa. This is the Epic Morning Show. We go for a short break, and we'll be right back.
Aha, Samuel. The better way you can save. Do ya watch me shop for me quick? I'll go pay me business license.
Yeah, you still pay for this long waka. Pass it come out here, boom, for go pay your business license. You don't know say you can pay your business license through Orange Money. It's so easy.
Yeah? For true, tell me more about this.
Better way don't come back to Orange Money. Orange Money don't give you easy way for pay you business license. All you get for do now for dial #144# and press send. Select 3, make payment and press send. Select 5, City Council and press send. Select 3 for Bo City Council. Select 4 for Kenema City Council. Select 5 for Koidu New Sembe City Council and press send. Select 2 business license and press send. Enter amount and press OK. Enter business identification number and press OK. Enter business name and press OK. Confirm your amount and business identification number. Enter your PIN and confirm your payment.
Orange.
Obita, that property tax payments, it don't pass so, and I really need for payment today. But I get important meeting back for Kango, and me are confused right now, man, like. How I go able to pay this property tax today?
Honey, why you dey worry yourself? You know say you can pay for property tax to Orange Money?
For school? Tell me more.
Better way don't come back to Orange Money. Orange Money give you easy way for pay you business license. All you get for do now, dial #144# and press send. Select 3, make payment and press send. Select 5, City Council and press send. Select 3 for Bo City Council. Select 4 for Kenema City Council. Select 5 for Koidu New Sembe City Council and press send. Select 1 for property tax and press send. Enter amount and press OK. Enter property number and press OK. Enter first name and press OK. Enter second name and press OK. Confirm amount and property number. Enter your PIN and confirm your payment.
Orange.
Okay, welcome back. The program where you listen to now the Epic Morning Show will come to you from 99.3 FM. Also, you can able for watch we live on Sleek TV channel 37. This morning we discuss about the economy, the APC or the SLPP, who that salon people can able for trust with the economy and why. Now, before the break, of course, we did talk about expenditures and all. Now, let's talk about crisis response measures or crisis management of the SLPP. The SLPP, we get the COVID-19 way for most parts of the government be hit. And then, of course, we know that it was a global concern and all. But then, the measures they want to put in place. One, maintain zero import duty and GST on imported rice. Deferred taxes on importation during COVID-19, provided subsidies to EDSA amounting to 500 billion for reduce the burden of high tariff. These are things the moon outlined. But let's bring it down to the reality, na the ground. Okay. Notwithstanding the zero import duty or GST, we will not be get on imported rice. What's the price of rice now? It's still high, very, very high. It's the same thing with regards the importation duty on several other commodities. They are still at an all-time high. And you get EDSA, of course, the tariffs are very high at the moment. One for say, when I think say all of these measures we want to put in place, that's why I just read so. Let me just stick to them 3 days so for now, yeah? When I feel say them work with the current state of things?
Certainly, but before I go to that one, I just want to clarify a few things the way my colleagues say. They talk about SLG. Yeah? This government from 2018 to date, from 2018 to the 2021-2022 academic year, this government don't grant 11,000 Sierra Leone students granting aid to Sierra Leone and picking them, where it don't cost this government 57,270 million. So this scaremongering, this fake propaganda way the APC they put out in the public say government don't remove SLG. It's not true, and they should stop. It's not good for nation stability. This government don't grant more SLG than anybody. This government don't give 2,327 girl picking them scholarship free na university education for go study science, technology, engineering, maths, for let improve this country's status. This government don't give 2,426 scholarship to
Honorable Tawa, I think with regards to the point of subsidies, I'll be clarified and they clearly. There is still subsidy in place, than we know. Let's deal with crisis response measures them of the new direction where they inside on a manifesto. Una mention about the fact that una don't maintain zero import duty GST on imported rice, yet still the price of rice is at an all-time high. The same thing with all other things them we import in this country. So during COVID-19, una say una waive them, una defer them actually, not to waive, una waive them. But yet still, it's still at an all-time high. EDSA, despite the 500 billion leons where governments provide for reduce the burden of high tariffs on people, then the tariffs of EDSA is still at an all-time high. My point is, their measures there I don't read, so then 3 there. With regards to the current situation on the ground, you think say it work?
It does. Okay, let's start with zero duty on rice. The government did not only give zero import duty on rice, but the government provided a single interest rate credit facility to importers of rice for law ensure say the cost because of the supply chain disruption where COVID because. Don't forget say Sierra Leone a major net importer of rice, not so major self. Net importer of rice. We are importing from Brazil, from India, from Pakistan, from Thailand, and from other countries them, yeah? We know the countries the way they were worse hit by the COVID. India na number 1, Brazil na number 2, the United States, China, and maybe the sub-Saharan Africa now they can number 5 or so. Yeah, and if you look at the major disruption points them in terms of rice supply, now 2 of the major rice importers, they hold the import from countries them. Now they disruption this. So what in government do? Apart from implementing the zero tax duty on rice, government also provide single interest rate credit facility to CTC, to PC and Sons, to SAD Group, to rice importers them. Then now because of that one day, you realize say the net effect, even with all the supply chain disruption in it, the net effect now that the cost of rice, the same bag of rice now, Liberia, in Leone terms, is 902,000. In Sierra Leone, it's 650, 700. In Guinea, there's this whole touting about Guinea gets a bag of rice in Guinea. In Sierra Leone, money costs 1,540,000. In Gambia, it costs 1,320,000.
If there is a source where you can reference, I think viewers and listeners will appreciate them a lot.
If you go to the economic forum, I cannot give you the exact site.
Okay, well, I'm not going to impress on you for Guillaume now, but maybe before the end of the show, so that viewers them go actually verify, because those are actually real-time monies, them way they mention 1,500,000 and things like that. So maybe it's good that we verify them. But just go ahead.
Okay.
It's no rush. Before the end of the show, I would ask you.
So if you look at consistently the price of rice across sub-Saharan Africa or across the sub-region, na Guinea, na Liberia, na Gambia, na Nigeria, na Sierra Leone, then you realize that the effect of zero tax on rice and the effect of the single interest rate loan where government give rice importers them don't play significant part. Let's not forget, it is almost 4 years or 3 years specific where COVID broke. COVID started in December 2019. It hit Sierra Leone in March 2020. Between December to date, we are still struggling with supply chain disruption, either because of COVID-19 or because of the Ukraine-Russia war, where don't make most of the transshipment point them don't get challenges.
Okay.
So that's number one. Number two, on ETSA, of course, the real effect on ETSA, maybe we've already buy top up more than this now. Why? Because the agreement between government and IPPs, because government is still majorly reliant on IPPs. For example, we are connected to the Côte d'Ivoire, Liberia, Guinea, and Sierra Leone, CLSG, West African Power Pool line. When I supply light, like 95% of Guinea, the power, the electricity supply comes from that source. So the fact now that we collect in leons, but we cannot remit in leons. So what in government do now that because we forget exchange rates conversion, and because like you said just now, the leons looks like seated on a 10, 15, 20, 25, 30 ton human being. Because firstly, the dollar across the world is the strongest currency. Secondly, now that we export volume, since the collapse of African minerals, London minings, and other major mineral importers.
Yes, in line with that, Tawa, we know say Dandy na the reality, but the point is, before the SLPP was elected in 2018, on that particular points then them mining industries then they and all, una be promised the people of Sierra Leone say una go do them better. That is the point. There was a famous quote from the SLPP then that Sierra Leoneans actually no concerned with microeconomy and things like that. Waiting Sierra Leoneans concerned about now how much they go buy rest in the market, how much they go buy this, how much they go buy that. And those were the points when I emphasize. And with regards the exchange rates and all, I know say yes, there is the dollar, it's the strongest currency, we know. But una be say una they do them better. Una go ensure say una give value to the leons. I think that was the main reason for the redenomination in the first place. But yet still, here we still have the leons gasping for breath as against the dollar.
Redenomination not to strange thing in Sierra Leone or other parts of the world. For example, like Doc said just now, he said they use two currency. Nigeria, they have redenominated as well, but they are using two currency. So the effect of redenomination is not going to be automatic against stronger currencies. That's the first. Secondly, you know they emerge in a global situation where Sierra Leone economy is A, import driven, B, partly donor and grants funded. So if the one day way they support you with grants, they are struggling, they are gasping for breath. The United States, they generate $400 billion where they go to the United States Treasury. They are spending over $500 billion. Let me come. So if the one way they support you, they are struggling. Everywhere across the world, they are struggling with inflation. If they are struggling, you will struggle. Because Sierra Leone is not living in isolation. Sierra Leone is part of the global village. So if you put her now in context with other countries, pari passu, you look Sierra Leone and Guinea.
Okay,
in terms of cost of rice,
I would hold
you
you
realize
right
that the government
and,
has lived up to its expectations.
I will come over to Doctor. In terms of economic, the things them we want to talk about in terms of response to crisis measures them. Crisis, of course, not something we expect, especially global pandemics and all. One for say in terms of crisis management during una tenure as well, there was Ebola. So to some extent now there was a global crisis during APC time and there is a global crisis during SLPP time. But with regards how una be doing then,
no, Ebola was not global.
I'm coming.
Crisis.
Yeah, well, it was West Africa, so no,
it was 3 countries.
It was an epidemic.
Let put on so it so na epidemic. Yes. Let not say global, no problem. The things them we una be do then. One for say how una be do to the point say we even get for institute austerity measure, because if una be do so well, then maybe we'll not be for the reach na that junction day. Now in 2023, una the campaign on a platform for change everything for una can better manage crisis, una able do them better, for manage them to the point say the price of rice no go skyrocket where they affect the ordinary man that much. Waiting at the difference. How una do and then we lead with austerity. With what una one can do now, we not go lead with austerity.
You see, the unfortunate thing, what you realize, people use the word austerity as a very negative word. And when you talk about prudent financial management, when you come to managing the economy, how you get for spend, not austerity. Government get for be more responsible. Like austerity, go check the definition.
Okay.
So people try to make austerity as a bad word. But look into COVID, because now the real-time situation. A lot of dollars was pumped into our economy by foreign donors. And most of that money they for not go for how for revitalize the economy. And Sierra Leone, now one part of the country them, when they do this study, now one of the 7 countries them will spend most of the money we then give for COVID-19 on larger corporations than on SMEs. So what does that mean? You only benefit few people, big guys that probably could have survived otherwise without the COVID funds. Well, all come to EDSA. You can realize that this government come in governance. We had 2 car power ships. They sent one away. At the time, we were paying 19 cents for the credit. Then come the renegotiate them for let it go down to 13. But at the same time back when they renegotiate them, government begin make $18 million every 2 years from EDSA proceeds. But what in this government end up for do? They meet the price of every kilowatt hour at 540 leons. Where this government can increase unto 1,400 leons per kilowatt hours. But still, what you learn, when you buy EDSA top up, you get less credit for the same amount of money what you use for buy EDSA top up during the APC. Which means this government do not take any measure for reduce the hardship on the people. They try for take more, but then they give back much. This government also, like they tell you, campaign on no corruption also. We don't reach there, all I can go there. We don't reach there.
In terms of the points where you talk about with regards to the austerity measures.
The austerity measures.
Where you say necessarily not to a bad thing.
Not to a bad
austerity
thing,
measures, austerity measures are something we often they be used by governments. Them we find them difficult for borrow, meaning they don't lost their credibility in the international market.
Or they don't lost their relationship.
Or meet their existing obligations for payback loan.
Yes.
So government we not get credibility for even donors them lend time. And when our Tudo established Sierra Leone they own a donor driven economy. We budgets is being subrogated by donor funding and things like that. And as well, somebody we don't lose in not able for live up to your obligations for payback loans them way it don't take. Adikam, how is that not a bad thing? Then maybe it just go as well to the point where I initially talk about the fact now because of the debts the owner left, now then they make them in this situation.
Well, I'll tell you about credibility. You get traditional lenders. You get lenders who are not traditional, but they still lend you. Before the APC left governance, we had a huge project for building airports, Namamama. That was money coming from the Chinese government. They're not traditional lenders. So some of those privileges were lost because of certain relationship, not because of bad financial management.
So
if you look at this
IMF
country
and World Bank,
they are traditional lenders. And they tell you, and they will tell you back. Anybody, economists will tell you say, some economists will tell you say, government will depend on multilateral institutions for borrow more. Always they leave them people there for suffer more.
But that's the reality of we own situation.
No, but that's an option that the government took at the time. Because then and day, if you look at it, the economy was not bad. People they suffer now more than ever before.
But one go for Sena because una lends to the point say una not able to live up to una expectations.
No, because of the measure where the government takes say, okay, we can lend to the other people, without spending this amount of money or without making this type of obligation to them.
Okay.
You get to be smart. Okay. And when you're a smart leader, you take options that will benefit your people. Okay. You need just go the way, the tight road where they want to put you per. Okay. And I believe this government don't work on a tight road.
Okay, now we open the phone line for the listeners and viewers. Them can call in and add them voice to the conversation this morning. 079-994-993 now the number where you go call for add your voice, ask your question or comments. Please keep them under 1 minute and be as civil as you can. Good morning, your name and who you call from?
Mina Bumper, they call from St. John.
Yes, Bumper, please go ahead.
Well, I go therefore because what the department talk, President Bill. You say we can't downsize. You see, because the ministry they may expand. We can more expander. And look again how it creates the diplomatic officer. We get deputy. You not facing one of the areas then they again we more contribute. Then when you look again, say then they talk debt. The debt they come, but there is no implementation. They only they enrich themselves with per diem, allowance, and salary. But all the debts way the SAPP don't treat, we not see no reflection. But when you look about the personal benefit, they more benefit. And where you even look again how they don't use the foreign banks there. Now more of money laundering. Because if they use the indigenous banks there, it go good for we. We indigenous then they suffer. Okay. The foreign banks then now more this government they use. So are you feel say we economy go save them? Are you
Okay, thank you very much. Please try for keep your comments under 1 minute as more people them there on the line for call. 079-994-993. Good morning, you name and who side they call from?
Yeah, good morning. I'm Mola, I call from Hastings.
Yes, Mola, please go ahead.
Yeah, I agree with the honorable say the rest now give me a dear pass to an Afriton. But what you feel for tell you is that 30,000 loan Guinea money, now 100,000 loans Salo money. So if we do the conversion to leons for price getting the home, the rest automatically there for high pass film. Then they get willing to full. 2018 we agree with the government they say about wage bill, they will downsize that. But still, they just can't increase how they employ people and more ministries and more agencies. I don't think that because they just go against their word. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. 079-994-993 now the number where you go call for add your voice to the conversation this morning. Good morning, your name and who side you call from?
Mina Rogers of Juba.
Okay, Rogers, please go ahead.
I believe when they talk this government not work, it work. If you not been work, if now other government they can perhaps it go down the worst part down there. The people then work because where they travel, they go look, they see rice price there and other things in other country. Now because they work hard, the promise where they begin and then fulfill and I make today within a disposition. I mean your contribution, Andy.
Thank you. 079-994-993 now the number where you go call for add your voice to the discussion this morning. This morning we'll talk about saloon economy, the APC or the SLPP. Who can we trust? Good morning, your name and who side you call from?
I'm inside, I call from Central.
Yes, sir. Please go ahead.
You see, politicians, they know they tell the people and the truth. This problem all we will get now because would they spend past what they get. When you look at the revenue they collect and they say foreign exchange, they blah blah. But when you look at the president in travel, for goodness sake, if the president in travel, why the president they get his own budget, the first lady they get his own budget, why would I not go cut according to size? I mean that's also the country that they do. When I talk about APC, the austerity, I mean that's FOB. You create more embassies with deputies, high commissions with deputies, employ people them. That strategic communication unity. Then pass 6 when they day. Then you got president your own back. Then pass almost. All these are people and get them fuel, and get vehicles, and they get them salary. These are all cost.
Okay.
Why would not cut to cost according to size?
Okay, thank you. 079-994-993, now the number where you go call for add your voice to the conversation this morning. Good morning, your name and who side you call from?
Yeah, good morning, Constantine. This is the call from Pachalo.
Yes, sir, please go ahead.
The only thing is, same Dr. Samuel Kamara, where they go as president now. Now, in the same one with as Minister of Finance or Bank of Man or waiting austerity measures. I want this man tell we good rating our austerity measures because we know say austerity measures are for manage the economy. And we be know see the first 5 years we are one of the most growing economy in this plan now West Africa. But all of a sudden the next 5 years they say austerity measure. It was the same way advised the president about austerity measures. They then build big houses, buy big cars in this country. But now, they are not understand. These politicians, they treat me like what we are idiots. Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you. 079-994-993. Now the number where you go call for add your voice to the conversation this morning. Good morning, your name and who side you call from?
Hello?
Yes, good morning, your name and who side you call from?
Me, Mohammed Conte, I call from 14.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, thank you very much. My brother, I don't really understand how politicians they want to treat Sierra Leoneans there because of insincerity. My brother, if you compare between Guinea and Salon, so 2018, the dollar na Guinea na 900,000. 2023 for NAM, up to this time na 900,000. Salon, Guinea, Salon, dollar na 750,000. 2018. Today as I talk to you, na 1,400,000.
Okay.
Guinea rents up to this time at 300,000. 300,000 at Guinea, the rest. Salon right now at 700,000. So I go able to compare Guinea and Salon for say if you change a Salon money now. 2017, if you go Salon money 10,000, then they get 8,000, 12,000 franc Guinea.
Okay.
Now if you go 8,000 or 2,000 they get. So which is exactly where they want to try for tell me.
Okay.
You see? So they don't play this country for nothing.
Okay, thank you. 079-994-993, now the number where you go call for add your voice to the conversation this morning. Good morning, your name and who side you call from? Hello? Okay, apparently we lost that caller there. Good morning, your name and who side you call from?
Yeah, good morning. Mina Lusai.
Yes, sir, please go ahead.
I heard Tawari talk say they give duty free per arrest. Not so duty free be update from the previous government. If they talk say they give duty free, that is not true. If already give duty free per arrest, you must go buy arrest now. So if they talk say duty free that they do, look to them, don't say they do them. At all, look at the economy the way they grow up. Look at it. Look petrol, look this everything. Tawas is under. Tawas was a poor family. We pray for talk for we. It defend the government.
Okay.
So it's wrong. It's not fine.
Thank you.
Okay.
Yes, thank you. So that's it for the calls for now. We'll hold it there and come back to the guest them at the studio. Honorable Tawa, you get the point where people them don't release. I think one way chief among them, now the fact say if you yes, it may be that the rest price na Guinea is more higher than the one na Saloon, but then look at the Guinean franc. Can you compare it to the Leon Nayasu? We literally they suffocate. And every other comments maybe that you need.
If I lost sight of the Guinean franc, I'll go first of all start there. Firstly, Somebody say 2018 Salon money value past Guinea money. Then I think is it Mohammed from Waterloo? Yes, no, it's concerned citizen from Waterloo. We say the first 5 years of the APC now be the country get the fastest growing economy. Concerned citizen, I just editor and the small. The country hit 21% immediately after 2012, 2013, 2014 before Ebola strike. Now in Sierra Leone economy they grow at 21%. That's in the height of exports. Now Salon, African minerals, London mining, they were exporting. Iron ore price was at the highest level. So anybody go and ask what happened after that one, they will end up with austerity, a measure where government lost in face and all. But let's talk about so bumper here. Somebody we call from Central. They talk about embassies, and I've heard this a lot. Let's read from President Koma in valedictory speech and in over notes. Let them know say non-commission, no high commission, no day. This is it. Right? Verified, eh? The president valedictory presidential address delivered by His Excellency President Dr. Ernest Bai Koma, right? I'm going to read word for word. It says more than ever before, we have moved to strengthen bilateral relationship. This year alone, over 30 ambassadors presented their credentials to me. It's a massive demonstration of our growing international cooperation with countries from every region of the world. He said we have expanded our diplomatic presence, we, Sierra Leone. We have expanded our diplomatic presence through the establishment of new embassies and consulates in strategic geographical locations to promote Sierra Leone's interests. These include Kuwait, South Korea, and the United Arab Emirates. We have also relocated our mission in Tripoli to Cairo. We are in the concluding phases of establishing new embassies in Kenya and Turkey, and we are in discussion to reopen embassies in France and Cuba.
But from what you just read, Dan didn't know in any way talk about waiting. The point with the person is not the fact, say, it's in terms of the personnel.
I'm coming.
Now Dan they talk about.
I'm coming. If you give me chance, I just don't give you this one where the public not be ever hear about it. Say there has not been any new embassies already established. These are embassies they always be done they in progress or they don't establish them. That's the first. Secondly, I had lawyer AKK, his lawyer yesterday.
Let's comment to it.
No. I want you give me chance. You go understand how they talk. He talk about Felix Koma, right? Felix Koma was deputy ambassador in the United States. So deputy ambassadors have been there in every administration. So there is no new addition to embassy employment. Consulate officers have been there. Press attachés have been there. So what in President Bio meet in terms of foreign embassy employment, ambassador and deputy ambassador, that was how President Koma was appointing. Felix was deputy, and you have a number of deputies across all embassies. That is one. Now also make talk to the policy we talk about the Guinea economy. I go back to the Guinea economy. In 2019, 94% of Africa's total mineral exports, not to Salono, Africa, total Africa exports, was from Guinea. Guinea now the third largest exporter of bauxite now the world. Guinea is the number 26th country in terms of world's strongest economy because Guinea holds 7.4 billion tons of bauxite. So, and Guinea, every mining company in Guinea, the Guinean government owns 49% in it. What mean to say, foreign currency retention in Guinea from sales of the minerals, the major exports, foreign currency earning, now 90%. The Guinean economy in 2021, the export GDP was $9.5 billion. Then import GDP.
Let's look at the Sierra Leonean context.
No, let people understand. Let people understand. Say what in Guinea they do and what in Sierra Leone they do. Then you have to understand the context because you have to understand Guinea, you can't Sierra Leone. Now Sierra Leone export GDP in 2021 was $874 million. Sierra Leone import GDP was 1.5 billion. So Sierra Leone they operate on net surplus. Guinea they operate on Sierra Leone they operate on net deficit. Guinea they operate on net surplus of about $3.05 billion. So you know they expect the Guinean currency for crash to any other currency because the foreign currency retention is high. But in spite of that one day, basic food items na Sierra Leone is cheaper than Guinea. In spite of that one day, basic food items are the repeater cheaper than Sierra Leone past Guinea. I give you
that's a point where people
I give you rice figures just now. Yeah? Go to tradingeconomics.com. You will see the rice figures for countries, and you go understand exactly. Say this government has done well. Most of the things the way APC did out about Guinea, about Sierra Leone economy being weak. Somebody talk about import tax waiver on rice. Tax waiver on rice have not been there. The last time we didn't do amendment on the Finance Act was in 2014. What they import duty on broken rice, 5% broken rice.
Okay, thank you. I will come over to Honorable Dr. Unfa. You don't hear you waiting the callers them say with regards, of course, having questions with regards austerity and things like that. And now that you don't mention the Finance Act, maybe you could just put them inside the things them we really respond to. Inside una manifesto, when a page 4, of course, when I deal with the economy, one of the things them we una want for do for instill fiscal prudence and restore public trust in terms of the management of public finances. Una say una want review and amend the Finance Act of 2023. One for us because bearing way than they get to actually instilling fiscal prudence, but maybe respond to the comments of the callers for starters.
So absolutely, first I want to start with the caller.
Yes, sir.
We talk about the exchange rate with Guinea and Sierra Leone. Of course, Guinea in 2018, let's say 2018, the Guinea exchange rate to Sierra Leone every 100,000 leones at that time under Guinea, you get 150,000 Guinean francs in 2018. Now, fast forward to now, 100,000 leones, they give you 25,000 Guinean francs. The honorable member once say this government don't do well. They've done woefully. They failed on the promises so they give to these people, to the people of this country. You cannot compare Guinea and Sierra Leone and say we cannot begin in a net exporter. What would they force? I will bring back to page 4. Prudent management, fiscal discipline. This government no ever conduct themselves in a fiscal disciplined manner. When you take, even let's say for example the traveling of the president, you can recall back say this president goes to parliament and asks for an unaccountable impress, where parliament kicked back and rejected.
It was not parliament that kicked back. It was a member of parliament of the ruling government that stopped it.
Because they know, but they are through the debate.
So let us be
it was through the debate. It was through the debate, and we did not support it. We were against it.
We Laimara asked for the inclusion of the speaker.
No, we got. You say Laimara.
The answers are there.
Laimara was not the only debater.
The answers are there.
No, Laimara was not the only debater. And in doing the debate, there are positions. So if you see that the public is against it, because how can you say the president can travel and no go account?
And by the way, parliament did not kick against it. Parliament, even though
Honorable Tower, please.
You understand?
The point where Dr. Unfa they make, not to inside on a manifesto idea for change Finance Act. Now they you manifesto idea, say they want change Finance Act. So I feel by and large, now for response.
Of course,
to them. So give him the time to respond.
I'll not interrupt you.
Yes.
And go to the president back. The last time when he go to India, he take a trip to India, right? Basic laws and they offer allow you for travel with certain amount of money. They went to a hospital in Lebanon and paid I will come back to the number. They paid to an awful amount of money, where according to law say you know for travel with that kind of cash. Now through you get for do and through transfers. But they were with that kind of money and they traveled. But when they traveled, when they went, like we the caller Bido State, the president they go with your own staff. First lady go with your own staff. Let's see the president your own staff, they all get per diem they travel. But then same people and they will get per diem they travel. Then same people then give them per diem back through under the president's own budget. They even go to a hotel where they claim say they pay $10,000 a night. The Auditor General called that hotel for request a receipt. The hotel denies say none of the room they go at $10,000 a night. That was the reason. That was one of the reasons they removed the Auditor General. Then suspend and take today and not return to your office. So when you talk about what they happen at Guinea, or what you say President Kuroma be this in his statement say about embassies or missions. Of course, President Nkrumah be get a projection on what if he say the economy will be at a time in the future. If then people can and claim say they inherited a gloomy and bad economy, how you can continue with the same thing and even do more or worse? So it tells you that the hypocrisy is too much on their side, because you cannot say the economy is gloomy and bad, but you can't expand ministries, created more ministries. You want to be efficient, your economy bad. How you go create more ministries? How you go create more missions? How you go create more agencies? Then at the bottom line, you know, go say the caller responded to a call saying, yes, they pay direct. Of course, we always have deputy ambassadors. That is not the case. You get for manage, if you get a budget, you know go spend more than what you get. And the thing and the way APC they try for say, under Dr. Samura Kama, will do better in terms of fiscal discipline and public trust. Okay. Public trust, now, we talk about how the president go ask for unaccountable impress. Public trust, they talk about how the president go and his staff go double dip. They get per diem through the office, they get per diem through the president's office. Okay. Public trust, now how the president go travel with that large amount of money under international policy or customs laws. When you travel with that kind of money, they charge you for money laundering.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you.
How the public will retain that trust they back in this government.
Thank you, Dr.
Only the APC government will bring that to them.
For those points, I feel, especially on the economy, there is so much we go want for talk about. However, time no go permit we for really talk about everything. Lastly, before we go, just 60 seconds, yeah, for a round of, in terms of the One Nation Manifesto and consolidating and expanding the gains made and accelerating transformation. I would start with you, Dr. Unfa, inside the One Nation Manifesto. In 1 minute, I want to let you give Sierra Leoneans the reason why you think, say, Una can able for better manage the economy, and the economy, it better let them trust Una with the economy than already trust them again in the hands of President Biya. We already did it. Okay,
so now, like you said, we had the agenda for change, agenda for prosperity. Under this new manifesto, now One Nation, Sierra Leone has never been divided as it is now under this present government. When I talk about how government we come, then even try for suffocate some businesses at the time when they believe they get affiliation with former APC operatives there. No, so any investor who they come, no say we economic climate is not predictive. And they can salon economy and believe say if I pour this amount of money, I'll get this kind of money back in return in my investment. So we want to create a predictive environment. A lot of unrest starting at the country, killings, Boku, all across the country. If you go to the main correctional facility, na Freetown, Pademba Road, they killed and massacred people there. And none of them ever left the precinct of Pademba Road. Now, inside the campus, inside the precinct, now they didn't kill them. They not tell we say any of the people then get guns. Killing a Makini, Lonsar, Tombo.
Thank you very much.
You know 1 minute here
too. The 1 minute is off.
You know 1 minute here.
I mean, set me time.
But
I would
the predictive nature and the predictive climate, okay. Now at one thing and the way go benefit to economy and shall say we as a government are prudent in managing the people's money. That is the people's money, not our money.
Thank you. I would now turn over to Honorable Mtawa. Why you feel say Sierra Leoneans for trust the SLPP with the economy of this country?
Quickly, the first thing is that vote for a non-economist in President Julius Maada Bio. We're able to steer this economy through difficult times, global economic meltdown, global pandemic, able to maintain stability in commodities, stability in food price will not queue. Not vote for an economist where they say that the solution when I be Minister of Finance, or where economy they go by 21%, it go to minus 21%, where introduce austerity, where reduce the credibility and integrity of Sierra Leone. And by the way, any country where introduce austerity, it take 20 years for let it cover fully into full economic standing. And now, within 5 years, President Bio don't restore Sierra Leone dignity in agriculture, don't restore Sierra Leone dignity in education. President Biodom sustain a difficult economy, it don't run over a difficult period, and that precedently they continue for consolidate them gains and expand for make sure say we continue for strengthening women's empowerment as a promise for giving them 30% quota he has delivered.
It's now 1 minute. I'm adding the 7 seconds I added.
Is it 7 or
Dr.
10?
Unfa. 7.
Okay, I will use that 7 for tell you say President Bio has been the total champion of women, the 30% women empowerment and the Land Commission Act.
Thank you.
So that president deserve another 5 years for consolidate gain.
Thank you very much, Honorable
transformation.
Tawa Conte. This morning at the studios, we talk about the APC or the SLPP. Who should we trust with our economy and why? On the side of the APC, we get Honorable Dr. Unfa Soriji Koroma. And on the side of the SLPP, we get Honorable Ibrahim Tawa Conte. We're also now the Deputy Western Area Chairman for the Sierra Leone People's Party. Gentlemen, thank you very much for coming this morning. Good, and Dr. Unfa is the Deputy PRO for the Western Region for the All People's Congress. Listeners and viewers, we'll not go any side, stay right there, we'll be right back.
Unite, let's unite, Africa. Unite, hey, let's unite, Mama Africa. Unite, Mama Africa, let's unite, let's unite, unite. Oh. I wanna know what's going on in Africa. Can somebody please tell me waiting to happen in Africa? Yes. Everywhere you go, we don't even show love no more. A nation against nation, a brother against his own brother. Yeah. And just as we keep on fighting, and women and children starving, and then the youths them crying, and innocent people them dying. Let's forget about our differences and come together, live in peace, hold hands in unity, because we all one family. It doesn't matter where you come from, it doesn't really matter what your color. Yeah. From the north, south, east and west, Africans we all one people. So please let's stop the fight. Africa is all we got. I beg me people ever let's unite. Oh yeah, Africa unite. Unite. Let's unite. Tell me when we gon' unite. Unite. Let's unite. Africa unite. Unite. Let's unite. Mama Africa unite. Unite right now. Why we dey kill we self? Na Africa. And tell me why we dey kill we self? Oh, it pain me as an African to see me people them suffer. Hey, it pains me as an African to see and children dying from hunger. And tell me why we kill each other when we supposed to live together. Oh, yeah.
Hello, good morning, and welcome to the Thursday edition of Epic Sports right here on Epic Radio 99.3 FM and on Slick TV on channel 37. This morning on Epic Sports Update, we get host of sporting news them for you. So just brace up yourself wherever you day and get yourself listening to waiting we get for you inside Epic Sports Update. And me will represent Epic Sports Update this Thursday morning. Me, your name na Nigel George. We'll go straight into action as we go take with first news wherein we see Real Madrid do offer $100 million for get the signature of the Borussia Dortmund winger, where not less a person but Jude Bellingham. Well, we see for a very long term, Jude don't they get this kind of big contract around them with Real Madrid for make this move, and finally they don't decide for left the German Bundesliga for come see how they able for thrive inside the Spanish La Liga, and as well we see N'Golo Kante don't join Al Ittihad inside the Saudi Arabian Pro League. What does this mean for this particular league? Is it that we get to see that kind of boost inside this league? And what you say think, because we see now the superstars them they go inside the Saudi Arabia Pro League. Is it that they get for chase after the money, or they want to have to see how this league will be popularized? And as well we see say CAF don't pull an official statement we are in, and they say the two teams then we get for represent Sierra Leone inside this 2023-2024 CAF Champions League, and as well as the Confederations Cup, then for ensure that they get a female team. Well, it seems like the big one get for happen in football, wherein we get for see maybe if Boy Rangers go try for see how then go secure a female side, because CAF don't make them clear say no female team, no competition, no CAF competition, or even we see say the Confederation competition will play, because the only way they go allow teams them from Sierra Leone for partake in this tournament where they go get license for qualify if they get a female team. And as well we see say Karim Benzema as well don't left the shores of Real Madrid, and himself don't enter inside the Saudi Arabia desert, wherein himself don't join Al Ittihad, wherein he get for they receive 200 million euros per season. Is it that N'Golo Kante and Karim Benzema get for make that kind of French duo inside the Saudi Pro League? And lastly, second to last news inside Epic Sports Update, we see Wafa don't push them dates and all is scheduled for the general elective congress. Now we get for happen on the 27th. Waiting this mean is it that more and more things them get for unfold inside the Western Area Football Association, the election. And lastly, we see West Ham don't knock out yet another Italian team out of the three Italian teams and we make them into this year's UEFA competitions. Then we are in, we see Seville, they don't defeat Roma in the UEFA Europa, and as well we see last night inside the UEFA Conference League, we see say West Ham be defeat Fiorentina for letting secure the UEFA Conference trophy. Well, now all this I get for you inside Epic Sport Updates this morning. As well, join me at 11 o'clock where we go bring come to you host of good things them inside Epic Sport, because today we take a look at the biggest sporting stories them inside with Thursday edition. Until then, now so me Nigel George go say goodbye.
Welcome to Epic Entertainment Buzz. My name is Order. Today is Thursday, beautiful Thursday morning. And of course, I dare for you the latest happenings in entertainment, locally and internationally. A lot done they happen. But for this morning, we take with international entertainment. Also, we see, say, Nigerian female singer Wena Tiwa Savage don't release a most anticipated song where it titled Pick Up, and it on all social media platforms. Well, there's been a lot of critics and analyzing of the song by social media and other people themselves when they listen to the song. You know how social media they, but the Queen T are still up in game and still they continue for promote in song. And on the side of Burna Boy, we see say Burna Boy don't splash millions of naira on a customized diamond chain with a late friend in name. This, according to Ramna, for remember the late friend, will create an impact in a musical career, and so he indebted to this particular friend. Rima and Selena Gomez, the song Calm Down, together with Davido in Unavailable, Usai feature Musa Keys, don't be included in Spotify Song of Summer for 2023 predictions. And to waiting they happen locally, now we look at entertainment industry, now that we see say the long anticipated song by Winner Man where it titled Mama Day out now, and at 4 p.m. during the drive time show, join me, Robin, and come to you later get a feel of how the song Talek. And lastly, inside with ENT buzz for this morning, now that we say Richie Obama will win the Sierra Leone Best Comedian Awards. Now the Sierra Leone Association of Artists and Musician Awards will be take place now the diaspora. Now all this I got for you this morning. Don't forget for joining me at 4 p.m. during the drive time show, and of course a lot of ENT news them good day for you during entertainment day.
Samuel, the better way you can save. Do ya watch me shop for me quick? I'd go pay me business license.
Yeah, you still dey for this long waka waka. Pass it comot here, boom, for go pay your business license. You don't know say you can pay your business license through Orange Money. It's so easy.
Yeah, for true. Tell me more about this.
Better way don't come back through Orange Money. Orange Money don't give you easy way for pay you business license. All you get for do now for dial #144# and press send. Select 3, make payment and press send. Select 5, City Council and press send. Select 3 for Bo City Council. Select 4 for Kenema City Council. Select 5 for Koidu New Sembe City Council and press send. Select 2 business license and press send. Enter amount and press OK. Enter business identification number and press OK. Enter business name and press OK. Confirm your amount and business identification number. Enter your PIN and confirm your payment.
Orange.
Robinta, that property tax payments, it don't pass so, and I really need for payment today. But I get important meeting back for Kango, and me are confused right now, man, no lie. How I go able to pay this property tax today?
Honey, why you dey worry yourself? You know say you can pay for property tax to Orange Money?
For school? Tell me more.
Better way don't come back through Orange Money. Orange Money give you easy way for pay you business license. All you get for do now, dial #144# and press send. Select 3, make payment and press send. Select 5, City Council and press send. Select 3 for Bo City Council. Select 4 for Kenema City Council. Select 5 for Koidu New Sembe City Council and press send. Select 1 for property tax and press send. Enter amount and press OK. Enter property number and press OK. Enter first name and press OK. Enter second name and press OK. Confirm amount and property number. Enter your PIN and confirm your payment.
Orange.
I hope that our visitors would listen to this song carefully, because it's true. They're trying their best to stop our progress with bad propaganda. I mean the foreign press. Bad things are blown out of proportion and spread all around. But the good things of the island they will never mention. Like our scholars have sit and passed every test. There's nothing about that in the foreign press. You know our music is rated amongst the best. There's nothing about that in the foreign press. But if a man...
Okay, welcome back. You listen to the Epic Morning Show on 99.3 FM. We also do live on Sleek TV, channel 37. Now it's time for the papers. On the front page of the Starterlight newspaper, as SLPP campaign intensifies nationwide, President Bio's no runoff agenda on course. And you get another headline here: why Gento will save Freetown, and Orange Sierra Leone introduces another innovative product.
Listeners, and the very first newspaper where I get with me this morning now the A to Z newspaper, where the banner headline they read say President Bio assent new education act, another manifesto achievement. And if you want to follow on that story there, you go on page 3. Sajusu assures the wage parity in public sector. Now all this day on the A to Z newspaper, and another story they will make another headline when the SLBA, when the Sierra Leone Bar Association renovate King Tom and remand dormitory. Now all this day on the A to Z newspaper this morning.
Okay, on the front page of the Premier News newspaper, chiefs commit to promote political tolerance and global economy on precarious footing. UNICEF and GCN engage students on menstrual health.
The next newspaper with me this morning are the Standard Times newspaper, where the banner headline they read say rapid exchange rates depreciate. Dr. Samura Kamara to address foreign national arrested with 15 round on remarks pistol. Now all this day on the Standard Times newspaper this morning.
And here on the front page of the Aoko newspaper, China medical team restores sight of a 105-year-old. And Kailan court chairman jailed 14 years for sexual penetration. News that I and Alpha Khan are dead is fake. That's quoting the former Vice President, Honorable Victor Fu.
The last newspaper with me this morning are the Global Times newspaper, where the banner headline they read say IGP assures tight security. If you want to know more about that story, you buy the Global Times newspaper, and same way so look now at page 3. President Bio expresses thanks and appreciation to residents of Biwa Chiefdom, Nigeria National, in court possession of cannabis sativa way in Ajamba. Now all this day on the Global Times newspaper this morning.
And here on the front page of the exclusive newspaper, 5 more years, Bio tells Rukel, Koso Town, Maji Town, and Mile 13. U.S. Ambassador calls for calm and votes Samura Kamara. That's quoting the Honorable Cherno Ramadan Majuba. Okay, these are the headlines this morning. Interesting because all across the papers it's about the elections, whether it's the APC assuring their supporters that they are going to win or the SLPP doing same. But then there is something here I feel it's quite interesting. The UK has no interest in influencing the outcome of Sierra Leone's election. A day on the exclusive newspaper. How important it is, Vandy, you think, for international organizations, members of the diplomatic corps, for maintaining their neutrality during this critical period, most especially?
Yes, that in itself is very key, because one factor we can always refer to, and Salone especially, we can always say, oh, international committee or international donor them. So it's very good that some of the times we get statements where they come off from international committee, international body them, for see how best they can make their statements. Then yes, of course, the entire populace, they expect the international committee them there for be totally and entirely independent, because then a moral guarantors them, and a lot of people they look up to them. Of course, you can see normally when things happen, you can see people they cry and even do some right or press release calling on the international body. So in elections, we are expected say them for be free, fair and credible, and be neutral as well, for give a level playing ground. So in as much as a statement of that they come off from them is a very good thing, is the pat on the back, and we are feel say we for able for look up to them for any other international committee or international body for replicate the same thing.
Okay, thank you, Vandy. Now on the line we get Arthur Pierce, being a member of the APC Publicity and Communications Unit. Now just today we see the COP, winner the consortium of progressive political parties, them pull a notice that then they declare then support for Dr. Samura Kamara in the June elections. Good morning, Arthur.
Good morning, Epic, and thank you for calling me.
Yes, you go one for tell listeners them waiting actually trigger this move. We know say yes, there was an alliance of opposition party, but waiting trigger the move of all of them declaring for Dr. Samura.
Well, first of all, I want to tell Papa God thank you for this day because COP don't come up far. COP don't come up by a very, very long battle. Don't battle census, battle the cyber bill, we don't battle the no local council political party involvement in election. We don't battle boku in them for reach this point wherein the consortium of progressive political parties, what we all call COP, they publicly and officially declare their support for the APC party and Dr. Samura Kamara and General Madam Majiba. How we reach this decision? This is not to anybody force COP and COP members and the political party members that were inside COP. Not to nobody force anybody. We believe, say yes, the Dr. Samura Kamara and General Madam Majiba, the ticket will go lead Salon and Salon people to the right direction.
Okay.
COP basically stands for a government of national unity. Usai, tribalism not there, regionalism not there. A government where the right people were in the right place. Now we speak for inside COP. And so, therefore, when the One Nation manifesto was made public by the APC and by the flag bearer, Dr. Samura Kamara, we believe that yes, what will be the ask God for, what will be the work towards all these years, what will be the work together in a COP, don't come to reality. Okay. So as a result of that, unanimously, we all within inside COP don't put with support, not only for support the presidential candidate, but also all the aspirants them, the mayoral aspirants, when I even at Soya and Freetong, the MPs them, the councillor, the district council chairman them, Kashaw and all the other big chairman them at the one country. COP prices of plenty political parties across the country.
Yes, Arthur, on that particular point, one go on for ask almost political parties them generally make up COP. And does this mean that we will declare our support now for Dr. Samura Kamara and by extension, like you say, the All People's Congress? Does this mean that all the other political parties then they will be part of COP, not get for filled in candidates for any of local council, parliamentary elections, or even presidency? So you guys are just behind Dr. Samura now. Nadandi na the situation?
Well, I explained the situation very clearly and in a very simple way for the ordinary man to understand.
Okay.
We support what to throw to Dr. Samura Kamara and the APC. They guarantee say APC will win the election in June 24, 2023. Number one. Because what it means, we all in the country now don't come together for support Dr. Samura Kamara. Then they explain to Salon people, say the winning na APC day. Second thing where I want to let people understand, APC the inside COP, members then we been the NGC, boku now they see the resignations there every day. They don't come APC because they believe in COP. Some members who been the SLPP will not believe in the leadership of President Biosef, don't can declare for support COP. We get PDP party, people in way they inside COP, the other fraction they will them get some, then get some division in the party. You're after to PDP, the original PDP, then they na COP. You get a whole political party like NPD, National Progressive Democrat, and they inside COP. You get Unity Party, then they inside COP. You get PMDC with the inside COP. You get C4C, some fraction with the to the COP, we believe in COP, the inside COP. You get PLP with the inside COP, some fraction. You get ADP, some fraction back with the inside COP. You get Poku other individual stakeholders in our country. We believe in the progressive agenda. We believe in the government of national unity. Where all them good people there don't kind inside COP. Then they sent a clear message to the swing voters, to the undecided voters. Even the one that will not be make up their mind for go vote. Even the one that will not be make up their mind for take them party card. Say la rush go take me party card. Because the winning in the APC, the winning don't come to Samura Kamara. Now the winning day. This they give confidence. And a person like Madam Femi Kojo, the reason why they single her out for this interview, somebody like her, it appeals to a lot of good people with a good conscience, a lot of people that we understand waiting governance for flex. It appeals to people in way they don't sway them by tribalism or they don't sway them by partyism or by color. People that we actually want good things for Salona. That kind of audience say Madam Femi Kojo they appeal to.
Okay.
And when people like Femi Kojo don't make a public declaration that I, Femi Kojo, are the support of Samuel Kamara, it means that thousands of people that will not be decided, will be still there in doubt. They decide to say yes. Now with the fella who that means serious. Or let me go to the right direction.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you for talking to us this morning.
Thank you very much also Epic Radio for having me.
Yes, in name na Arthur Pierce, na a member of the APC Publicity and Communications Committee. This morning we talk to you about the declaration we COP, the Consortium of Progressive Political Parties, they do for Dr. Samura Kamara and by extension the All People's Congress. Vandy, your take on this?
Yes, for quite a long time now, we're not in Yeribot COP, and we don't know which NBC the operations, but I know say the policy way na the brain behind them, the figure we been there behind them, we na Mami Femi Claudius Cole, and been get some 2-3 issues within party, we make self not be able for contest these elections, and party not the part of the 17 political parties then we eligible for going to these elections. We get some few issues for settle with PPRC. But away from that one day, and MB, the brain behind this, don't bring different political parties for form together. This is not new. Because even the 2012, with the suicide people in the form alliance against the ruling or the opposition party, and this is continually and all the time when we get elections, we get this. So we see and monitor the process how it will continue for B. But in a wider aspect, it speak volume because if you get 7 to 9 political parties then come together, galvanize for fet the ruling or for come for see how they capable for unseat the ruling government. That is a call for concern. But like for the likes of the C4C political party, you hear clear from at all when they talk them divided. And I know say that even go right across the board. You get other political parties again where they pledge the allegiance to the ruling party, and as well we get them where they go for the opposition party. So it's a watch and see game. Let's see how we go turn out for B.
Okay, thank you. Now we open the line for viewers and listeners for call in and give them comments or questions. 079-994-993. Now the number where you go call. Hello, good morning. Your name and who you call from?
Yeah, good morning, gentlemen.
Yes.
I'm Johnny, Central.
Yes, Johnny.
Anyway, me belated sympathy, my heart of condolence goes to Jawad, for the loss of his father, may God give him good.
Amen.
I cannot understand how politicians are playing the jigsaw. APC is telling us about schools, scholarships, assistance in terms of school fees and college tuition and whatnot. What me cause this the late man when I be Minister of Education for appearing at the Commission of Inquiry. A ministry me chop the highest money, over $60 million. There were fake schools existing. Somebody register schools when I want administration. Then the one school not even exist. Then they collect that money there. Government they subvent. Somebody they duplicate the entrance examination for students that when they even go to school. Then they collect that money there. Schools were not existing. What was happening with the monitoring? They did a lot of corruption. It was all corruption. Then we are coming to this COP forming alliances. I could tell you in deadpan phrases, these guys are no major. They are not a threat for creating impact on the political dispensation of this country because they have been existing since the last elections. What were their impact? Some are not even win councillorship. The man self they not win. Let alone member of parliament.
Okay.
So what are they talking about? You know, these are just like defeatist perception, as the psychologists tend to say. Defeatist perception. They know they are defeated, so they are inheriting all kind of ways, you know, to embolden themselves that they could stand the political contest.
Thank you very much. 079-994-993 now the number where you go call for add your voice to the discussion this morning. Please keep your comments under 1 minute so you go give chance and opportunity to other people them as well for add them voice. Good morning, in name and Usaide call.
Yeah, I'm inside. I call from Central.
Yes, sir. Please go ahead.
First of all, points of correction to Vandy. Unity Party no get all everything themselves. Na ECSL been go all out for just stop them from an take part by the election. Then I heard the Honorable Tawari talk. Say the embassy that they may not exist and they may not establish. But my goodness sake, una come una say money no there. Una promise for cut down. What's wrong if una cut down when the embassy then they? I remember the days of Pakaba, when Pakaba came to power, just after the war, it talked to themselves. It said, "Bo, we open almost all of our embassies that we'll get. More just open a strategic one day. Then one day we'll open more do like what happened just when we don't get independence. That any side where British the High Commission they more ask the British man and for me to oversee with interest. These are things where this government for don't do. We discussed. When President travel, we might not to say 9% and give them.
Okay. Thank you very much. 079-994-993 now the number where you go call this morning for add your voice to the discussion. Good morning, in name and Usaide call from.
Good morning, Tony.
Yes.
Father Lambert.
Yes, Father Lambert.
Constitution of CIS. Now can I take economic side? We use two currencies. Because I follow we use two currencies. If really the past administrative government be real to the people left, that 10,000 so they make where some of them go people and they hold something out and get some brand new one from plan 2. So if this government come, he say want them money, they change them back to the loans. Now for the past administrative, make them come with this new money. I hope my brother, they know they agree for car with them money there. So I will not use two currency. Don't two. Then we come to this education-based system where people and they talk so. The brother and now we get the best education at this country. Now you they picking and they go see, do not believe on spy because the viginator the way they the law they tell us any match classes he game we play, it they appear court. That they don't compare to education now.
Okay, thank you. 079-994-993 now the number where you go call for add your voice to the discussion this morning. Good morning, name and Usaide call from.
Yeah, concerned citizen.
Yes, you please move away from your radio set.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. You get me now? You see this country, some people then
Hello?
Hello?
Yes, please go ahead.
I say some man go school but they don't understand. You talk about the COP alliance with the APC nominati. But you know many people then they go with and politics is number. So now a big threat for you now. Then secondly, Jawad, I wanted to know say don't do it about austerity. UK be done the austerity from 2007 to 2019. Let me check records. Yeah, all of them go austerity. Now go check. If you UK go under austerity, who is alone? Okay, man. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. 079-994-993. Now the number where you go call for add your voice to the discussion this morning. This morning we talk about saloon economy, the APC or SLPP. Who can we trust? Good morning, name and Usaide call from.
Good morning, my brother Ali Dumbuya, na the east part of Richa.
Yes, Mr. Dumbuya.
We go trust the APC. First of all, let me go to my brother who don't join me for join one of his parents. And they don't lost all. We don't lost his parents. Take heart, my brother. Now God in decision. Nobody know for question that. Just say Alhamdulillah. Or tell Master Jesus thank you, any one of them. I think austerity means for sure a responsible parent will face pandemic like Ebola for the first time in history, we will not get no experience. Before we continuously they face challenge and the people they continuously they pay price and seek they ravage the lives of Sierra Leoneans. Then a responsible president like the former president Dr. Anes Baikoma Elias Angbala mean the wrong. He said this time round we go discipline himself, meaning if I be they pay 1,500,000 to the minister, we go they take 1 million, the 500 they go to the kofa. That's make we get austerity. I think we they face the worst now. Where to me, even in the midst of Corona, we see even the first gentleman now they organize wedding, the police first gentleman now they organize wedding, and others.
Okay, thank you. 079-994-993 now the number where you go call for add your voice to the conversation this morning. Please keep your comments under 1 minute. Good morning. Your name and who you call from?
Louder. Was that?
Yes, sir. Please go ahead, sir.
Yes. And last week, Honorable Tower, the station, they talk. Honorable Tower, a very good economist, a very eloquent parliamentarian. That today I see at the stomach where is defend this with economy. You know, anytime when people can, what you ask them to talk about, then they let her, then they talk about what they happen at Guinea, what they happen at America. Me say they don't get any idea. Believe me, the way we economy is today, if we not get an economic guru like Dr. believe me, they is not able to operate.
Okay, apparently the line is very bad from the side of Pa Dauda. 079-994-993 now the number where you go call for add your voice to the conversation this morning. Good morning, your name and who side you call from?
Yeah, Abdul the call from region.
Yes, Abdul.
In terms of these financial sectors, first, now this present government, we see here is even the thing start from even the central bank of this country. Can you imagine for a central bank to go publicly and talk in terms of money lost in that central bank 2 times and then you do bribery? So what in these financial sectors they do now in this country? We don't know for central bank alone. Don't get money missing 2 times. No investigation will go into that. What in the anti-corruption they do towards that? There is no credibility in anything about finance in this government. There is no credibility. When I say on a government doing austerity, when I in a parliament they had money, salary for ourselves. When I forget to think about the masses, when I talk in terms of austerity, who are them forcing to think of?
Okay.
Not the country, not to the masses then.
Thank you very much. 079-994-993 now the number where you go call for add your voice to the conversation this morning. Good morning, your name and who side you call from?
Good morning, Epic Radio.
Yes.
This concerned citizen, they shared out my opinion.
Please go ahead.
Yeah, this morning I was listening to Honorable Tawawe, me and I same constituent. It surprised me because na person where I get a lot of respect for. I don't know why then they misuse the word austerity or why then they fail for tell the people them when they can any country can invoke austerity. Yeah, but if they come out plainly and tell the people them, then for the layman austerity, we tell them about austerity. It is feel to say nothing no there at all again. But austerity is a way for cushion excess spending for make them put down for better use for years to come. Now, forget about it. Come to waiting they happen at Sierra Leone about the economy, they talk about Guinea and the rest. Let's not do that themselves. Now die and sleep between Salone and Guinea. They go Guinea, they first and now return back. Wallahi, my brother, I shame as a Sierra Leonean. So SLPP don't lose grip of everything. Let them patient, let them go. The time don't let them go.
Okay,
yeah?
Thank you. 079-994-993 now the number where you go call for add your voice to the conversation. We'll take one more call and then we wrap up the call segments. Good morning, your name and who you call from?
Yeah, Moriba from Kisses.
Yes, sir. Please go ahead.
Thank you very much for this program. We talk about austerity in Sierra Leone under APC. But then we see the money they collect from the people and they workers in 3 months' time. we can't say una what una collect from that austerity. That they tell say the money will be 307 billion. They the common power they not ever tell you. My brother, in the case of Ebola that this country, so long go economy drop, everything done. When we talk about corona at the world, my brother, we take the one world. Now SLPP employ more than 10,000 teachers. We don't be there on payroll. They employ more than 5,000 workers. We don't be there on payroll. This government just coming to power less than 1 year with the public at the world. But they manage this country economy. They pay all the workers. They take care of them. So that the best government ever that this country, brother. Make no mistake. President Bureau government are the best ever. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And that's the last call where we get time this morning for take. This morning at the studio we don't talk about saloon economy between the APC and the SLPP. Who that gets a better plan for actually better saloon economy, give them life and make them better. Now also we did go the cutting down of the Epic Morning Show today. Plenty thank you to me producers them, Teresa, Audra, and of course the head producer, Mr. Anthony Vandi, and the man behind the mixing chamber, winner DJ Nice, and of course engineer Sammy. Plenty thank you as well to the entire team at Sleek TV. Me we don't bring the program to another this morning. Me your name na James Fortune. Sote tomorrow. Stay blessed.